Hello, everyone. It's so good to watch everybody enter here this today. It's noontime here. I know it's other times around the country and the world. Glad to have you all here. I'm Suzanne Kilkus, the resident teacher here at Open Door Zen Community in Madison, Wisconsin. So we're going to be beginning with our sitting practice. We're going to explore one of the chapters of Suzuki Roshi's teachings that are in a new book called Becoming Yourself as part of our inquiry today. So let's begin with our sitting practice as a practice in becoming ourselves. We'll sit for about 15 minutes. verse of the robe. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. Again, so good to be with all of you today. It's a beautiful day here in the Midwest. It's one of those perfect early fall days, having just gone through the fall equinox. So I'm going to begin here with acknowledging all of our ancestors with deep respect and gratefulness for all they have given us. Want to acknowledge our teachers, Roshi Flint and Peg, and all the Appamada teachers who have been offering such wonderful teachings this past summer. I also bow to the land we live on here in Madison, Wisconsin area, and its ancestors, the Ho-Chunk people. We offer our practice for all beings everywhere. May all be relieved of suffering, free from fear, longing, aversion, and ignorance, as we journey together on the awakening path. You might think it's odd that I offer this dedication of merit, but I like to do it at the beginning, up front, to seed what we're going to be doing here today. In the new book of Suzuki Roshi's teaching, Becoming Yourself, which I'm guessing many of us are reading right now, he tells the story in the first section of the book of the famous Zen teacher Nanyo Echu being asked what kind of tombstone he would want to mark his life. He was ill at the time. Nanyo's reply points to something Suzuki Roshi thinks significant in understanding what he is saying about becoming ourselves. Nanyo reportedly said he preferred a small stone. Some of his students said, "No, we want a big stone. Oh no, we should have a stone as big as the world." Nanyo said he would prefer a small stone. Well, I'm going to read a few paragraphs from this chapter about this reply and what Suzuki Roshi makes of it. As you listen, see if you can free your mind to hear what is being described in terms of becoming yourself and experiencing the universe. "I prefer a small stone that we can carry or move," Nanyo replied. Suzuki Roshi says, "If you know what a small stone is, you know that it is you, yourself, and that it covers everything. But if you think you need to see the entire universe in order to see yourself, you will be lost." I'm going to come back to this sentence in a bit. It goes on. "You need one small room for yourself. This is very true. When you can really find yourself in a small room, then there is you yourself, and the whole universe is there, and the whole universe makes sense to you." Well, maybe, but we'll get to that. Without your own small room, the whole universe doesn't make any sense. So what you need now is a small room. And what you will need after your death is a small stone. This is the actual reality, which is always true for everyone. Suzuki Roshi goes on to say, so I don't talk about the whole universe or some mysterious experience, but just about finding yourself in a small room or in a strict practice of formal Zen where we say, you should cross your legs in just this way. Under this kind of limitation, you will find yourself. Your real self is there. But because you discuss whether this room is good or bad, big or small, you lose your real room. Before you discuss, and before you are caught by discrimination or thinking mind, it is your own real room. So to find true joy under some limitation is the way to realize the whole universe, Suzuki Roshi says. There is no other way for us to get an approach to the whole universe. When you exist right here, and if you remember, Flint gave some focus to this last week, the whole universe makes sense to you before you think about it. It is important to give up your foolish discrimination or foolish ideas of freedom. This is the way of practice. That's the end of the reading from the chapter. So I'm going to go back to a few points here. In the first paragraph I read, if you know what a small stone is, you will know it is you yourself. Well, I ask, what does this small stone express? Is it that there is no large or small, no size needed to experience what is essential? There is no distinction in the universe, as the Heart Sutra says. It is what it is. There is no partial universe, and there is no partial expression of true self. He says this in the next sentence. But if you think that you need to see the entire universe in order to see yourself, you will be lost. I've been having conversations with people lately that reveal this kind of search and goal. The entire universe, either it's the entire universe, the entire thing, or it's not being good enough. I'm not being good enough. It shows up as the idea that we'll be worthy of our practice if we do it right. If we could just stop the inner critic and judge, shift away from all the parts we find distasteful or shameful, and then be a good Zen student. We forget to give ourselves drops of love in the form of compassion and understanding as stuff comes up. As we all have been reminded many times, the problem is not that stuff comes up so much as how we treat ourselves when it does. Becoming ourselves in the universe can happen on the limits of the cushion as we practice, or, as I found out, at the theater. For example, this past Sunday evening, I saw a play at an outdoor theater near here, a wonderful outdoor theater. I saw a Shakespeare offering, and that, as Shakespeare plays go, was an exuberant expression of the human condition. There was love, jealousy, confusion, doubt, hate, angst, anguish, very misguided action, regret, remorse, repentance, ordinary life, community support, sweet love again, and then joyful resolution. It had it all. I was thoroughly engaged in the human endeavor being expressed. When the play ended and the lights went out, instant darkness revealed the starlit night sky above, the universe. It was startling and wondrous and ordinary. the self in the universe delivered right there in that moment, the universe in the self revealed. One moment, it was all there. I'm going back to Suzuki Roshi's teaching here. His use of the room metaphor is interesting, as it simply is an expression of limitation. Rooms have floors, walls, space. It's a container, just as our cushion is a container for us to experience ourselves as we are, just as we are. Hopefully with openness, curiosity, acceptance, and the possibility to be free of preconceptions. I think that's what he means by us dropping the foolish discrimination and the foolish ideas of freedom. I'm imagining Suzuki Roshi smiling because I listened to an interview with the two people who transcribed this book. Well, actually, just one of them, because one of them was Bernie Glassman, who passed away a couple of years ago. The other one, his name escapes me in this moment, but anyway, what he talked about in this interview was how humorous Suzuki Roshi was. And so I'm imagining Suzuki Roshi smiling as he uses the word foolish to describe what we do. Some of the synonyms of this word are silly, unwise, imprudent, thoughtless, irrational. And it's truthful to say we do have silly, unwise, imprudent, thoughtless, and irrational thoughts about ourselves and what we do. So he was just being lovingly direct in his understanding of us. In becoming ourselves, sitting practice, we have this great opportunity to let go of our rigid self-definition. In doing that, our deeper and spacious self emerges. But of course, it's not only in sitting practice where this happens. It happens off the cushion, of course, and also in moments of genuine connection and thoughtfulness. I was the recipient of an action by the spacious self of another recently. A couple of weeks ago, we had a family weekend on the shores of Lake Michigan, mostly to be together, but also to spread some of Steve's ashes in the lake. He had requested that his ashes be given to water, and there were 3 important bodies of water for him: the Mississippi River, which we did on his birthday in June, Lake Michigan, and Lake Superior. We had a short ceremony of readings along a beach and then gave his ashes to the lake. When it was over, I started to walk along the shore toward the beach entrance. One of my 15-year-old grandsons came to me, put his arm around me, and walked with me for several minutes. This loving act was done by an introverted, taciturn young man of few words who stepped out of himself to be with me. His spacious, compassionate, big self emerged for these moments. It was priceless for me to receive. I read a phrase recently that I think well describes this practice. That Suzuki Roshi calls becoming ourselves. The poet Kate Lobo calls it a ritual that promises transformation. The last couple inquiries I've done, I've given us some hand movements, and I'd like to do that right now, combining becoming ourselves and the universe. So if you're willing, here's the invitation to put your left hand out as a representative of becoming yourself, and putting your right hand out as a representative of the universe. Cross your wrists over. Turn your hands so you can clasp your fingers, your hands together, and bring them to your heart. Yourself and the universe right here. Breathing with this. A ritual for transformation. Then you can undo it. Or keep it in place if you'd like. I'll close my remarks here with, I've amended what the poet Naomi Shahid Nye wrote on the back of this book. I've changed a couple of words. There could not possibly be better teachings for our moment in history. These teachings for sanity and balance offer what so many are craving. In the midst of national and international turmoil, it is still possible, if not utterly necessary, to learn the simplest things. So the teachings in this book, Becoming Ourselves, are really simple. Suzuki Roshi suggests this is really simple. We just make it so difficult. So, if you would, please come forward with your stories of becoming yourself experiences, and or any ideas or questions about what this practice involves. It can be quite bewildering, and in a moment we can absolutely know it. Hello, Joel.
Hello, Suzanne. Thank you so much. I just want to say that I'm experiencing becoming myself in this moment, listening to your gentle voice, embracing that gentle motion of connecting my hands and then turning them toward my heart in a way that's slightly confounding, slightly turning things inside out. And that has something, for me, that has something to do with what Suzuki Roshi is suggesting, that in my practice at least, being aware in the moment takes some kind of turning things inside out. I have to, first of all, spend some time generally in sitting, doing what I think Joko Beck advises, identifying my core belief about myself and letting that, and identifying it. And I used to always try and push it away, but now I try and say, oh, there you are. Join me now in this moment. And because we're together all the time, no matter what, me and that core belief and everybody else and everything else. But this is a joyous practice you're offering. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you for speaking about how confounding it is. And I've often found doing something with my body, kind of twisting things around a bit, kind of takes me out of that kind of self-obsessed track. Yeah. So thank you. And what a beautiful moonflower behind you. Thank you.
That was I actually took that at Apamata some years ago. We had some datura flowers growing.
Oh,
I don't think they're there anymore, but anyway, it was beautiful.
Wonderful. Thank you. Hello, Donna. Good to see you.
Hey, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Suzanne. A couple of things. I also love the use of a gesture, and you know me, I'm just doing anything somatically. And I found that when I followed this movement with just unclasping, it landed
Mm,
on my heart
mm,
that way, and then
beautiful.
felt felt like a nice completion.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted to tell you how touched I was about the story about your grandson, was it? I have a 16-year-old, just turned 16-year-old grandson who is also introverted, quiet, taciturn, I think was the word you
Yeah.
used.
Yeah.
And and, and I just feel I'm just almost in tears thinking about the gesture your grandson made for you and how I feel that kind of thing from my grandson and how not to judge a book by its cover, how surprising it can be sometimes when somebody, especially a young person like that, just shows how much empathy they have and
Mm-hmm.
sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that story as well.
You're welcome. Even every time I tell the story or think of it, I feel his hand here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. From one
yeah,
grandmother to another. Yes.
exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Mm-hmm. Hello, Julia. I thought I saw your hand waving there. Yes.
Yeah, I pressed the wrong button somewhere and the light's going from me, so you've got me in the dark. Suzanne, it was a beautiful talk, but I was a little envious of your Shakespeare experience. I have just come back from a holiday down in Cornwall, and at the very far tip of our country is a theatre called the Minnick Theatre. And it sits cut into the cliffs, looking out over the sea. And we went there to listen to Shakespeare's Macbeth. And the wind howled, and the rain came, and we got absolutely soaked, and it all got called off in 20 minutes. And I was working with that whole sense of non-discrimination and thinking it plays into the idea of keeping it as simple as you can. This too was good. There was nothing that was lost. In fact, there was a lot that was gained. And how easy it is for us to want more rather than looking at what any offering in front of us is giving us. Um, yeah, and just that ability to simply accept whatever is being offered,
Mhm.
even if it's not the beautiful stars in the dark sky, but the wind and the rain. We can love it all.
We can love it all. Well, actually, Julia, this was our second attempt to get there and to see the play. The first attempt, we got a heavy thunderstorm, and and there was and they did start the play, but they had to stop it, and so we got to redeem our tickets and go to this one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but thank you for your
Kept it
teaching.
all. Thank you, Julia. I love the image of the theater looking on the cliffs, looking at the ocean. Oh my.
Beautiful.
by Naomi Shahid Nye. It's such a beautiful poem about being ourselves, and I'm sure many of you recognize it. It's called Gate A-4, and I'm sure many of you know that Naomi is a Palestinian American. She wrote this in 2008, and it has a lot of meaning now, and I find it a very hopeful poem, but also know that this is what's going on somewhere now as well, something like this. Gate 4A. Wandering around the Albuquerque airport terminal after learning my flight had been delayed 4 hours, I heard an announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate 4A understands any Arabic, please come to the gate immediately. Well, one pauses these days. Gate 4A was my own gate. I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian embroidered dress, just like my grandma wore, was crumpled to the floor wailing. "Help," said the flight attendant. "Talk to her. What is her problem? We told her the flight was going to be late, and she did this." I stooped to put my arm around the woman and spoke haltingly. The minute she heard any words she knew, however poorly used, she stopped crying. She thought the flight had been canceled entirely. She needed to be in El Paso for major medical treatment the next day. I said, "Oh no, we're fine. You'll get there. Please wait." Just later, "Who is picking you up? Let's call him." We called her son. I told him. I spoke with him in English and told him I would stay with his mother till we got on the plane and ride next to her. She talked to him. Then we called her other sons just for the fun of it. Then we called my dad, and he and she spoke for a while in Arabic and found out, of course, they had 10 shared friends. Then I thought, just for the heck of it, why not call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took up 2 hours. She was laughing a lot by then, telling of her life, patting my knee, answering questions. She had pulled a sack of homemade mumal cookies, little powdered sugar crumbly mounds stuffed with dates and nuts, from her bag, and was offering them to all the women at the gate. To my amazement, not a single woman declined one. It was like a sacrament. The traveler from Argentina, the mom from California, the lovely woman from Laredo, we all were covered with the same powdered sugar and smiling. There is no better cookie. And then the airline broke out free apple juice boxes from huge coolers, and 2 little girls from our flight ran around serving it, and they were covered with powdered sugar too. And I noticed my new best friend by now was holding my hand. She had a potted plant poking out of her bag, some medicinal thing with green furry leaves. Such an old country tradition. Always carry a plant, always stay rooted to somewhere. And I looked around that gate of late and weary ones and thought, this is the world I want to live in. The shared world. Not a single person in that gate, once the crying of confusion stopped, seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. I wanted to hug all the other women too. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I don't have much to say except that this is kind of like Gate 4A for me.
Okay.
It's a very, it becomes ordinary in a way because for 5 years I've been here, but so special also, ordinary and special. And I just appreciate this opportunity and everybody that's here and your lovely teachings. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody, just for our gathering.
Yes.
Yes, Suzanne.
What a lovely suggestion that we're all at gate 4A. Who has the cookie? Who has the cookies? Who's
We
bringing
did this at least.
Yes.
We did our gesture.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think that we feel that way. We feel the offering. So that's
Thank you,
there.
Rosemary. Rosemary,
Thank you,
so
Suzanne.
much. Hello, Lynn.
How lovely to sit with you. Oh, I was just thinking how all of these things come together. How the gesture of your grandson, the gesture that we did, which I'm quite familiar with actually. We used to incapacitar. It's a gesture I know. And I loved the way you brought, the universe and the becoming yourself together, and how the poem, and it's the simple gesture of love and connection that in some way brings it all together, and it's simple.
Yes. So many times here at our Sangha, somebody will say, remember, how simple can we let this be?
It's simple. And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to do it, I think, things can get in the way of that. Because I look on the screen, and I'm sure every person on the screen knows how to make those gestures. I can't coin the words, but it's in us all. It's in us all.
Yeah. Yeah, and our need to be really careful so that that's not misunderstood as simplistic, or that we're ignoring what's going on with the pain and the suffering of so many people. But to sit down with somebody, to listen to somebody, to give a cookie, to offer a juice box, to that can make a difference. It won't change the world, but it can make a difference in that moment. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, everybody.
Hello, Francis.
Hi, Suzanne. I continue to be very amazed at how close I can feel to this group of people that only a few have ever really met. But there's so much comfort in just even thinking of you, the group, at times when we're not meeting, and really listening to the expressions. Like I have a 13-year-old grandson, and I'm really close to, and he's not always that sensitive. I'm hoping 15 will be there. Anyway.
Probably not, Francis.
No.
Go through a tunnel and then they come out.
He was just his birthday was last Friday. So we have time. But this morning I was thinking sometimes it just takes a moment to pause and be there, to hear somebody. And I ran the grocery this morning, and there's one little area off to the side. It's really kind of the place pet area, and there's hardly ever anybody in there. And but the cashier was there, and I walked in. She said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "I'm fine." I said, "How are you?" And she said, "Oh, I'm okay." And so I turned to her and I said, "Well, you know, I'm really just okay too." And then we had the best, most intimate conversation. She's a young Black woman who, you know, has, of course, a different experience in the world than I've had. But I felt so close to her. And I was so grateful that both of us took that moment to just say, we're just okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we understand. She said, I hope things will be better. And I said, well, they will be different. And eventually they will be better. Or maybe not exactly the way we want them to be, but anyway, she's a young person. It was just such, but I was thinking how important it is just to stop sometimes.
Yeah.
With my own busyness and acknowledge.
Well, what a gift she gave to you by saying what she said, so that then you could say, me too.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get that me too, oh, there we are, the drops of love right there. Right there.
And I was really rushed because I was trying to, we're having storms here. And so I had gotten home and then I thought, oh, really need to run to the grocery. And so I thought, maybe I have a few minutes before the next round of storms move in. So I was really rushed to get home to inquiry. But I took a moment, and I was so glad I did. It was much more beneficial. But as always, thank you for your offering to us too.
Where are you located, Frances?
I'm in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Okay. Well, I've heard about the storms south. I have family down there, so I hope all is safe and all is well there.
Well, I think right now it's just regular kind of stormy, but I think tonight we're supposed to actually have some more interesting weather. I don't know. I have my closet ready.
Oh, well, be safe, Frances.
Thank you.
Take care. Hello, Becky.
Hello. So much of what you've been saying is the thing that happens when our brain gets us all going and with the things that are difficult, and to even slightly touch with other people can help us feel the simple part of it. And so I guess I'd like to sing. How simple can I make this? How simple let it be. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. How simple can we make this? How simple let it be. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Thank you so much for this, Suzanne.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you. Well, why don't you stay on, Becky, and let's recite. We're almost to the end of our time, not enough for another meeting. So let's go ahead and offer the practice principles. Caught in the self-centered dream, only suffering, holding the self-centered thoughts, exactly the dream, each moment life as it is, the only teacher, being just this moment, compassion's way, caught in the self-centered dream, only suffering, holding the self-centered thoughts, exactly the dream, Each moment, life as it is, the only teacher, being just this moment, compassion's way, caught in the self-centered dream, only suffering, holding the self-centered thoughts, exactly the dream. Each moment, life as it is, the only teacher, being just this moment, compassion's way. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the day or evening. Take care.
Thank you, Suzanne. Very well appreciated. And I just want to put a gentle reminder out there for everyone. Remember that Appamada's facilities and the programs are supported by your generosity. And you can do that at appamada.org/contribute for Appamada as well as any of the teachers. So I also want to let you know you can unmute yourselves. You can stay on for another 30 minutes for our porch gathering. And hopefully we'll see you on the other side of this Zoom road.